The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to The Ring and All of the Sports. My name is Leo Connors, and I'm your host. And tonight, I got a very special guest. Retired professional wrestler, Sonny Goodspeed.
I got a story about being retired.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on
Thanks
again.
for having me again. I want to tell you that I appreciate you and Dick getting the fat guy chairs out, because the last time, not so comfortable. I don't know if you could tell. I was squished in. I felt like Chris Farley in the fat coat, little coat thing.
Yep.
But much more comfortable now, guys. Thank you.
All right, well, we'll get into what you want to talk about in a minute. But I just wanted to mention, guys, the World Series is over. The Houston Astros, the 2017 World Series champions. They went 7 games. You watch any other games?
I got to be honest with you.
Yep.
I work in the restaurant business.
Yes.
I've caught about 5 innings of baseball this whole year. Yeah.
It was an incredible series,
That's
honestly.
what I hear. Yeah.
They were down 3-2 going to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was just incredible. The MVP was center fielder George Springer. The guy hit 5 home runs in the World Series alone. Just the World Series.
His dad, Jerry Springer, I heard, was very, very proud.
Yes, that's his uncle or something like that, I think. Because it might be his father.
I don't know. I said father, but it sounds about right.
But the Game 7, just real quick, the Game 7 winner was Charlie Morton, and Yu Darvish lost for the Dodgers, and baseball will be back in a couple months.
Yeah,
It'll be
it's
spring
right around
training.
the corner.
Yep.
Yeah, time to get the motorcycle out.
Absolutely.
Rock and roll. Yeah.
We're going to talk about the UFC 217, the card that was just on this past Saturday night. We're just going to discuss the main card.
Okay,
you know?
yeah, absolutely.
We'll start with the first fight of the card, was the middleweight battle between Paulo Costa and Johnny Hendricks, who finally made weight.
Finally made weight, yes.
You know?
Didn't look good.
No, he didn't.
Did not look good at
That Costa guy looks awesome, though, doesn't he?
I thought he was an underwear model, to be honest with you.
No doubt. Yeah, handsome dude. Yep,
handsome dude. But my God, can that guy, he's
tough.
He's amazing. Yeah, he put some work in.
Brazilian kid. So look for big things from Paulo Costa.
Absolutely.
The next fight was a welterweight fight, and it was between Wonder Boy Steve Thompson and his opponent was Jorge Masvidal, who I had a chance to meet. Remember the show that they just did at Fenway?
Yeah.
Well, I'm an idiot, okay, all the time, right? I'm there. There he is standing there at a table, signing autograph stuff. I didn't go meet him, but he was right there. Could have had pictures with the guy. But needless to say, he lost by unanimous decision. Wonder Boy is an incredible fighter, too.
Yeah, do you think he deserves another fight, though, with Tyrone?
Not right away. If he can win another fight or two, yeah.
And I think he needs to win another fight or two in decent fashion.
Right, yeah.
The way winning decisions,
it's
not very exciting.
He should have been able to stop him, too. Because, he beat him every round. One of the rounds, a judge had a 30-26.
Yeah.
So he had a 10-8 round.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't think that I'm not a big fan of Tyrone Woodley either.
Neither am I.
I think he's a boring fighter. Like, he's got power.
Yeah.
But he relies too much on the wrestling. And a lot of times I like that because I like a defensive struggle.
Yeah, me too.
Just not a lot of offense for me, and rather boring, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And Tyrone Woodley, speaking of him, though, his last fight, Dana White said it was the worst title fight he ever. I wish I could remember who it was against, but it was ridiculous. It was horrible. Neither one of them wanted to fight.
No, it was terrible. It was so terrible it was forgettable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Neither one of us could remember who it was against.
Yep. But so now, next we had 3 title fights. And I'll tell you, man, the first one, I'm going to butcher the second name, I can guarantee it, but Rose Namajunas defeated Joanna Jędrzejczyk. That sounds good. Joanna. Yeah. She's tough.
Yeah.
But Rose beat her, won the title by knockout.
Which nobody predicted. They kept talking about her submission game, her grounding game.
The flying armbar, they kept saying.
The flying armbar. Look out for this, look out for that.
Yep.
Nobody said anything about her punching power. Yeah. And my God, did she connect.
Oh, she could. And then, as she was pounding him, I didn't notice until they showed the replay.
She tapped out.
She was tapping.
Joanna. I pointed out to my wife, I go, oh my, I said, she just tapped out. And I was blown away because I didn't think she got hit with that many shots, right off the. But it must have just been enough.
But that
that,
straight punch, man, it put her right on her ass.
I think that would put me on my ass.
Yeah, well, I said that to the guys at the store. My buddy Daryl's in the control room and stuff.
Yeah.
That day I went to the store, 7-Eleven, and I was telling them either one of those girls would kick the crap out of me. Mm-hmm. You know, either one. And they what are they? 118?
Yeah. And I picked Joanna in that fight.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was big goose
Yeah,
egg
no,
on that one.
I actually picked Joanna too because I really didn't think Rose was going to beat her.
I didn't think so either.
Especially
I think
by
a lot of
knockout.
times when they have these up-and-coming fighters, that they just hype them up so much,
Right.
You know, just so they can sell pay-per-views, right? Oh, this is going to be an exciting fight, blah blah blah. I didn't really think much of it. I just thought it was a lot of hype, you know, a lot of spin doctoring. But man,
It was incredible. You know, it's funny too that you brought that up, like the hype and stuff for a fight. They say the ticket sales for this was very slow. They ended up selling out, but it was more like 2 days before the fight.
Right.
They were wondering how many pay-per-views they were going to sell, you know what I mean, and how many tickets were going to be sold.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, with the return of GSP, but it was a 4-year layoff, almost 4 years to the day.
It was 4 years, yeah.
So I thought it would have garnered more.
I thought so too.
And
I was shocked when I heard it.
The co-main event with the next fight, I'm assuming we're going to talk about.
Yes,
TJ
TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt for the bantamweight championship.
And I picked Cody.
Yep.
I thought Cody in his fight with Dominic Cruz, he looked unstoppable.
Yes, I agree.
I said, there's nobody going to beat this guy. There's nobody out there.
Yep.
And TJ's an amazing fighter.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't think he was going to have what it takes because you watched Dominic and TJ.
Yeah.
And it was.
Oh, yeah. Dominic Cruz is one of the greatest fighters of all time, really, especially at his weight class.
And Dominic made TJ look like a schoolboy.
Yes, he did.
And then Cody did that to Dominic.
Yeah.
And made him look ridiculous, missing shots. And then, so I thought it was going to be a lot of the same.
Right.
And even though TJ has a lot of unorthodox stances and footwork is
some
awkward.
of that stuff he was doing was very strange. I've
Super
never
strange.
seen anybody fight like that.
No, very, very bizarre. But I didn't predict that out at all. Again, I picked Cody and got him to
Well, it's
zero on
funny.
that
We
one
were
too.
talking off here how at the end of the first round, TJ was stumbling back to his corner, and then within 3 minutes after that, it was over.
I had no idea where he was. He stood up and he stumbled back, and then he couldn't find his corner.
Yep. What I liked about it, though, because we were talking earlier also about the Ultimate Fighter show
Yes.
and how much, like, they didn't like each other
Right. No.
at all.
At all.
You know what I mean?
You could
At
tell
all.
you could tell there's actual hatred.
Yes.
So there's no way that this is laid to rest now.
Right.
There's,
he did hug him at the end and congratulate him, but I think you're right.
There's Team Alpha Male,
Yeah.
and then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think that Team Alpha Male has this chip on their shoulder that, you know, you're either with us or you're against us.
Right.
And I'm a heel lover by heart.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I love that attitude, and I think it brings out and hypes up fights, and I think
absolutely.
I think it makes for very, very good fights.
Yeah, and
I
that
love
was an
watching this.
incredible fight. It only went 2 rounds,
But it was an amazing
incredible.
fight.
Yeah.
Not boring at all. Like
Right.
it was crazy. It was so good. Yeah, I loved it.
Now the return of GSP.
Who at 185
Yep.
looked like a full 185.
Yeah, he looked great.
Looked amazing at 185.
And I thought it was a great fight. Bisping's a tough dude, man.
Yeah.
He is tough.
Yeah, he's absolutely tough. And, you know, I think that there was a lot of talk of him saying that he was going to retire.
Yeah,
After
I hope
this
he
fight.
doesn't.
So I hope that he didn't rest on that, you know, saying that
right.
I'm going to retire after this
Yeah.
anyway. And I know just more recently, up until the fight, he was saying that he wasn't going to. You know, he's like,
Right.
well, I'm thinking about it still. But I hope that didn't have any bearing on the way he fought.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't think so. I think
But-
it was a great fight. It was.
It was,
Bisping's
yeah.
a tough guy. And who's been? I remember the fight when he fought Dan Henderson and got knocked out.
Yes.
That was brutal.
Crazy.
I don't even know how a fighter could come back from a loss like that, but
Yeah.
he did. Came back and ended up winning the middleweight title.
I don't know how long you've been a fan of UFC.
Long time.
So do you remember Bisping on the Ultimate Fighter
Oh
series?
yeah, Ultimate
Yeah.
Fighter 3, the third
Yeah.
one.
So you watch him from that point
Yep.
to now, you actually see the deterioration of his eye.
Yes.
You know, you can see that it's not right. So I
Right.
wonder if he has trouble with vision, like with
Yeah.
punches coming that way or whatever the case is. But GSP fought an amazing fight.
Yes.
He had him on the ground, pounding him,
Oh yeah.
gave him that false sense of security, like he was going to let him up.
Yep.
He was being led up his back, and man, was that choke in.
Oh yeah.
And I knew right away, I yelled to my wife, I said, He's not tapping.
Right.
He's going to
he's going to go to sleep.
He'll never tap out.
Right.
He's going to go to
He's a
sleep.
tough guy, exactly.
Yeah.
He would rather go to sleep than tap.
Yeah, and you could just see that hand just drop.
Yep.
And just, that was it.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
And what about the elbow he caught GSP from? He was on his back.
Fighting up.
I don't know. I didn't really look into it. But did GSP break his nose that night? Because it
know.
looked it.
It
It
looked
did
it.
look
Yeah,
it because the cut was right here.
Yeah, right across the bridge of the nose. I don't know if it was broken or not.
Right.
I don't think it was.
No.
I think it was just cut. But
Right.
man, I would not get. That's another thing. I don't ever want to get hit with an elbow.
Oh, no doubt.
That's gotta suck.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, I think. I wouldn't want to do that.
Right. So that's it for the UFC. Real quick before we get into other sports, I'm going to do this for myself. My daughter Sara, she cheerleads for Littleton High School in Massachusetts. They had a game Saturday. If they win, they get to go to the Super Bowl, and she gets to cheer at Gillette Stadium.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I'm going to have Dick put a picture of Sarah in the show in her little cheerleading
Beautiful
outfit.
kids, by the way.
Thank you very much.
I
have
watch
some
your
great
Facebook.
kids. I'm very, very blessed, honey. Honestly, my kids are just awesome.
That's
They're
awesome.
Great kids. I like to say it, quality human beings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's important
They all
now.
have
Yeah.
big hearts,
Yeah.
and they work hard.
That's
well,
important.
Sarah, she's young, so she's only had one job, but like my older daughter, she works 2 full-time jobs.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? One of them's she makes way more money than I do.
That's what you want, right? You always want your kids to do better than you do.
And she travels a lot because she's got no kids. I would love another grandson or granddaughter, but I can wait.
Yeah, you can wait. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Let her get that out of her
Absolutely.
system now.
So
Yeah.
go Littleton Tigers. I'll see you guys there Saturday. Can't wait. All right, Sonny. We were talking like through instant messages earlier, and you had told me what your favorite match was of all time.
Which is this? So my favorite match of all time is the most random match, but I remember watching it on prime time with Bobby Heenan and Monsoon.
Right.
I don't even know how many years ago, but it was a young white meat babyface in Shane Douglas.
Right.
White boots, white trunks, golden blonde hair, big pearly teeth smile against King Tonga. Wow. It was a 2-segment match, I remember. And I just remember, this is way before I was in the business, but I just remember this match. I was enthralled with it. This is telling such a great story. I'm so invested in this match. I've never been able to find footage of it, though. Wow. So I don't know if it's actually as good as I remember. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or if it's just something I have in my mind for so long that it's one of those matches.
I always thought Shane was a great worker. Always. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
And a heat magnet when he was in ECW. I mean, they hated him. And he didn't use cheap heat either. He got the real heat.
He got legitimate heat. Yeah.
Shitting on the fans of the city.
Yep. He didn't get that go-away heat we don't see. He got legitimate heat, which that's tough to do, especially nowadays because you want a lot of the heels just want to be cool heels, right? Yeah, and they want to be the NWO 20 years later kind of thing, that kind of cool.
That's the Bullet Club's trying to do. I don't understand. I mean, I understand they're talented and all that, but everything they do, they stole from somebody else. Be more original. That's just my take. I'm not saying they ain't talented and all that. You know what I mean? I just wish they would come up with their own thing. That's all. Yeah.
So you want to hear? Okay, so this is another one of my favorite matches.
All right.
I traveled with Bob Evans a couple of years ago. Brutal Bob Evans.
Yes.
He had a spot in his car, and he was doing a training seminar down for somewhere in Virginia for a guy named Mark Memphis Mofo.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who's an amazing guy. And a gentleman he had in the car is a guy who's been around a long time. His name is Preston Quinn.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
The main event of that night was Preston Quinn against Congo.
Okay.
And Congo drove down to the car with us. And Congo I've known since he started.
Right.
Super, super sweet kid.
Yep.
And the match that those two had brought me back to watching WTBS 605. Don't miss it. My God, was it brought me out of my seat.
Wow.
Crazy. I couldn't say enough good things about it. Don't know again if there's video footage of that one. Right. But Preston Quinn against Congo from somewhere in Virginia. Yep. Amazing match if you ever get to check it out.
Nice. Preston Quinn are guys that I remember getting the old Wrestling Review magazines. Mm-hmm. And I would read all about guys like him. I would read about Cue Ball Carmichael.
Yes.
You know what I mean? All those guys. Jimmy Cesaro.
Yeah.
Guys from guys. From ECWA, Mr. Ooh La La, who I actually had as a guest on here.
Yeah,
he was on Skype.
On Skype? Yeah.
And I did that for me. A lot of people didn't watch it because they're not local guys. I did him and the old kid Deranged from Ring of Honor, the Special K.
Yeah, all right.
I had him on Skype too. Not a lot of people watched it, but I did those for me.
For you.
I like those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
It's your show.
Exactly. But what happened was, me and Derek and my grandson went to the Tommy Dreamer show at House of Hardcore Decatur, and we went to the Icons of Wrestling. Well,
the convention thing?
yeah,
Okay.
so I kept telling them I couldn't wait to see Mr. Ooh La La. Derek never heard of him. Jizea never heard of him. So at one point, I said to Jizea, let's go look for Mr. Ooh La La. Well, we're walking. All of a sudden, some dude jumps right in front of us. Ooh La La! I'm like, dude, you're not going to believe this, but we're looking for you. Get out of here. I said, Jai? He's like, is your name Mr. Ooh La La? He's like, yeah. We were looking for you.
That's crazy. Because he's a guy, Mr. Ooh La La is a guy who's really never left that Jersey area.
Yeah.
I did I don't know if I worked on the show, but I went down to an ECWA show for Ketner 1,000,001 years ago. And I met the ring guy or janitor.
JJ, the ring crew guy.
JJ, the ring crew guy. And then he, on the show, was some guy who was jacked to the gills and wore Tarzan trunks.
Cheetah Master.
Yes. Okay, I couldn't remember this. That guy, you would have sworn that Hulk Hogan was in the building when he came out.
Crazy. Yeah, he was very popular.
Yeah, not a very good worker.
Right.
But my God, the pop that he got, it gives you those chills. You're like, what the hell's going on out there? And then you look and it's some guy who could barely put on an arm bar.
That's funny.
But my God, yeah, so I did one of those shows. I don't even remember what I went down there for or who I was with. Probably with Bob Evans again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Ooh La La, I remember was one of those guys I met.
Yep.
And I popped for him because I love those.
Me too.
Those
and
type
it's
of
funny
gimmicks,
because when we met him, I said to him, you learn how to walk up the ring steps yet? Because every match he slips.
Yeah.
And then he trips on the ropes. So I said, you know how to walk? He says to my grandson, listen to this guy. Don't you know the rings? They're wobbly.
Yeah.
Right? Then he goes, and they put oil on the ropes to trip me. He just, right in character.
Yeah.
But it was so cool. Like, I never expected. I always liked him, like seeing him on videos and reading about him in the magazines. Never once in my life did I think I'd have him on a show and be able to, like, call him a buddy. Because we talk now. We talk on Facebook all the time.
That's
He's a
awesome.
good guy, you know?
That's the same, like, so that whole era in that area.
Yeah.
Guys that produced, like, the Ace Darlings and the Devon Storms. And,
yeah.
And who else came out of there? A bunch of guys came out of there. But
from down there, what's his name? The guy that runs the, come on. I know him, too.
Dead Air.
Yeah, Dead Air. But some of the guys, I remember Billy Bax and Robbie E., the valedictorians wrestled there.
Yeah.
Then the Logans had gone up.
Yeah,
they used a lot of New England talent. They had a thing with Chaotic.
With Chaotic, right. Jim Ketner and...
Yeah, that's how Fred Sampson came down here for the first time for Chaotic. It was through the ECWA.
That's right. I worked a Battle Royal with...
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's too bad he just got released.
I tossed him out of the... Tossed him out of the ring.
Yeah.
Big back elbow. Boom.
Did you ever toss Derek out of the ring? No, like in a Battle Royal? No. Because who'd I have? I think it was
No.
I know he was talking to not Evan Six. I think it might have been Evan that they had a little go battling back and forth, and then he dumped Derek out of the ring.
Battle Royals to me were I couldn't stand Battle Royals for whatever reason. They were fun, like if you were in there with some people or whatever.
Yeah.
But I hated the whole idea, like because inevitably you get guys in there that want to do spots with each other, like they're like.
I never understood that.
I never understood it either. But so I would bail myself out. I'd probably toss myself out of more Battle Royals than I've ever been tossed out of.
Right.
To be honest with you, because I wasn't letting anybody throw
right.
me over.
Yeah.
Unless you're Rick Fuller.
Right.
I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
So I'd let Rick put me over the top in the Battle Royal. But that's probably about it around. Yeah.
I haven't seen Rick at all recently. Have you?
So,
I haven't seen him anywhere.
So talking about retirement.
Yeah.
So I got my birthday was the 24th of September.
Okay. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much. About a month before that, I got a text or a message from Hammer Tunis down at Hadley, Mass.
Yes.
The Pioneer Valley Pro.
Yep.
And he said, hey, Johnny Idol's retiring at the end of this year.
Oh, wow.
And he wants to have a tag match with you and Scott Ashworth doing Chunky But Funky. He goes, and he wants to really work. Are you up for it? And I thought about it for all of 4 seconds, all the stuff like you do with everything important.
Right.
And I go, absolutely. And then as soon as I said absolutely and sent it, I go, what the hell was I thinking? I haven't worked it at this point 5 years, 4 years, 5 years probably.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but I need a knee replacement at my left knee, but I'm only 45, so they won't touch me till I'm 60.
Okay.
So I'm walking around on a bum knee.
Right,
but,
right.
So I said, yeah, I'll do this match. So we went down on the 23rd, and we worked this match. But I got to reunite with Ash and Scott Ashworth, and I asked him about Rick, and he says he keeps trying to get Rick. He'll text him. He'll say, hey, what are the chances? And Rick just cuts him off, says, no chance in hell.
Wow.
So Rick's happy doing what he's doing.
Right.
And don't think he has any interest in ever working
So
again.
you already had the match.
I had the match.
Now, was Mike Steele Johnny's partner?
No. Which I believe, so I just got reacquainted with Mike Steele via Facebook. And I believe that Mike is living in Florida.
Okay.
Works a corporate job, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And doing very, very well for himself, probably for the past 15 years. With this.
Egomaniacs, they were a hell of a tag team.
Amazing.
They really
They
were.
were so good. I was booking NECW for Sheldon Goldberg, and got to see a lot of their stuff. Got to work a lot with them for Bob and Gary Langevin out of Green Mountain Wrestling.
Okay, yeah.
And my God, what a team. My wife actually made them gear one time.
Nice.
Yes, that was good. But I love Johnny Idol. Johnny Idol is just one of my favorite people on earth.
Right.
So it was, if he's going to go out and he wanted to have a match with Ash and I don't care if I was in a wheelchair, I probably would have gone and done it.
That's awesome.
I probably bumped as much too.
Yeah.
If I was in a wheelchair, yeah.
But yeah, they were just a hell of a tag team. And now Mike Steele, he retired years ago.
Years ago, and like I said, I think he's working a corporate job.
Right.
He works in the restaurant business as well.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's perfectly happy. And he was never much so hard to get to talk to, because he was such a quiet guy. So I probably had to work with him a dozen times.
Before you had
sit in the locker room for 24 times. Before he would say more than 8 words to me, you know? And I'm a pretty easy guy to talk to.
Right.
But man, talking with him was like pulling teeth.
Wow.
But once you got him, once you were in with him, he's just a phenomenal guy. And Idol was definitely the leader of that team.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. Just so much fun.
Now, did Johnny retire and come back? I was like, I hadn't seen him in so long, and then all of a sudden, boom, I went to a show, and there he was.
Idol's working a lot in that area, that Springfield area. And he said he's great to have in the locker room.
Yep.
Because the guy's got a brain for the business, you know? So he's great to have in the locker room. He's phenomenal in the ring.
Yes.
And we're not spring chickens, and John's a little bit older than me.
Okay.
By 18 years, I think. He might be 70. But he can still go. He just still goes, and he loves it. And he's not working with older guys either. He's working with these young kids that want to work.
Right.
And John and Marshall are teaming up down there.
Oh, really?
Marshall McNeil.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that guy could work?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just
great
phenomenal.
talker, though, because that's what every time I saw him, I was like, wow, you can talk.
Yeah. He's a phenomenal manager.
Yeah.
And then that translated into working.
Nice.
He's almost as good a worker as he is a
I
manager.
haven't seen him wrestle, so I'm looking forward to that.
Another one you should watch is Marshall against Nicky Rocks from
From NECW?
No, this is from might be Top Rope or EWA for Bob or something. A phenomenal match. Marshall worked it perfectly. He just didn't work the whole match. I don't want to touch a girl. So he body slam her and hold his hands up like he didn't want to touch her inappropriately.
Right.
It just so good.
That's awesome. I actually saw a funny match at Beyond. It was Colt Cabana taking on Jordan. I think it was Jordan Grace, and he's slapping. She's chopping him, and she's like, "Hit me," and he's like, I don't want to hit a girl.
Yeah.
And Colt does great comedy matches, but a lot of people don't realize he can wrestle too, man. He had a hardcore feud with Homicide in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And people just think he's like comedian wrestler, or he just, can just regular wrestle.
He did a big program with Adam Pearce as well.
Colt can do it all.
Yeah.
And luckily, I'm kind of buddies with him. I've known him for a while now.
Yeah.
And great work. I've already actually, when he says he come to Boston, next time he's in, he said we can do something for the show.
Nice.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love
I've
watching his stuff. I love that. I watched him I went to the first National Pro Wrestling Day down in Quackenbush down there that he put on. Because at the time I was riding with the Devastation Corporation. With
Oh,
Big
yep.
Scott and
Yes.
those guys. And I
Joey?
watched him. I watched him and Quackenbush put on a clinic.
Right.
It's only 8 or 10 minutes long, but
Great
man,
match.
stuff you don't see
Yeah.
anymore. You could definitely tell they're influenced by the old English style.
Right.
And just stuff nobody ever sees anymore.
Yep.
But these guys have it down pat. It was fun to watch.
Now,
It was great to watch.
They went live, I think, on Facebook for that or something, because I remember watching a little of it live. They had like a lot of matches, that day? I mean,
Oh my God, they had two
hours.
sessions. Two
It
sessions.
was
that
2
day.
sessions, okay.
So one show was whatever 2.5 hours
Right.
long. Then there was a little break, cleared everybody out. Everybody comes back in. The next show was like, wow. It was a long day. I was selling coffee that day for them. I was hawking coffee because I went down again for the ride. And,
Yep.
And Quack was like, "Hey, you want to sell coffee?" I'm like, "Sure." Yeah.
Not
Nobody
really,
gets
but-
anything for free. Nobody.
Right.
So I charged Colt actually because he's the only one of the
Oh,
guys that
he
came out.
didn't like that.
Probably
He don't
not.
like to spend money
No.
at all.
Are you saying that because he's Jewish?
No, because he don't like to spend money.
All right,
but he
very
is
good.
Jewish.
He is
but,
Jewish.
And he won't get mad at me for saying it because he's very frugal with
Yeah.
his money. He says it on his podcast all the
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. Yeah, he
You know?
does.
And it's funny that, remember the Wrestler Marathon that was put on, Spencer?
Yeah.
Colt was there. So I'm getting
Colt was there?
Yeah, I'm getting the food ready for Sunday, which ended up being canceled.
Yeah.
But I was going to do a stir fry over white rice. I mean, it came out great. But here comes Colt. He's like, yeah, can I get a little? I said, yeah, you want some rice? No, just the chicken. I'm like, you don't even want the vegetables? I mean, it's the best part.
Yeah.
I got him seriously, I got him a huge plate. Must have been at least 3 chicken breasts because I bought like 40 pounds of chicken for that thing, But just a great guy. Known him since 2002. Never once liked my pictures or anything like that. Anything, right? He meets Sara that day, my youngest. Next thing you know, I post a picture of me, her, and my other kids at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Oh, he likes it. Oh, what a great picture. I'm like, you bastard. I've known you for so long, and you meet my daughter, and now you want to like the pictures because you think she's cool.
Yeah.
Because he said on his podcast, too, that when he goes to shows, he knows, the demographic that likes him. And teenage girls aren't in that.
Aren't his thing.
You know what I mean? But he says he tries to get them to like him, you know? And he was very nice to all of us.
Yeah.
But I gave him a shitload of food, and I'm like, you don't even want... It was just incredible. But again, you don't want to spend your money. Because I was doing the concessions, too.
Yep.
And he right by them for the free food.
Yeah, for the free food. Do you remember the show they did Chikara did in Nashua?
Yes, I was there. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Remember, they honored Jeff. I remember
That's-
you seeing that. You yelled, Leo. Jeff yelled at me, too. He's like, hi, Leo.
Yeah. Remember the baseball match that broke out?
Yes.
One of the best things. I remember sitting there watching it. I was sitting with Ripper.
You're on
and,
against the wall.
Yeah, sitting with Ripper, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" I go, "I'm not sure, but I think it's a baseball game." He's
What
like,
did he
"Oh."
say?
He
Oh
was
my-
like, "Oh Jesus!" Like
Right.
he had. But I watched it, and I thought it was genius. And
Yeah.
I talk about it still to this day.
Right.
I think it was one of the most fun things I've ever
Oh,
seen.
absolutely.
And I'm surprised that Jeff never came up because Jeff came up with some wacky stuff.
Oh,
but-
yeah. We've talked about that before, man.
Yeah, the wrestling in outer space and
Yeah.
wrestling in 3D and
Well, I'll tell you, I got his granddaughter, one of his grandkids, goes to my school.
oh no
She
kidding.
came up to me one day and she says, my grandfather's lobster man. I said, get out of here. She goes, yep. And he said, told me to say hi to you. So, hi. I said, you tell lobster man I said hi to and do my show.
Yeah, he still hasn't
Nope.
offered to come on, huh?
Nope, I'll have to hit him. I only hit him up at the beginning. I haven't asked him in a long time.
Yeah.
But now that, he can see, I'll send him yours. I'll
Yeah.
send him Mavs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe he'll watch him and decide he'll do it.
I mean, he's right in
He's
town,
right
right up the
here.
road. Yeah.
And
So
you can imagine the stories. And a lot of people don't realize how good he was when he was up in Canada. I watch that stuff a lot on YouTube.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to watch on YouTube lately is when he was Santa Claus. And he brought out the shoes for Eric Froelich. That
Just
was
crazy. Like,
hilarious.
some of the amazing stuff. The
Yeah.
$3,000 shirt.
Yeah.
Invisible manager. The whole
Yeah.
just stuff.
The dog leash. Remember the old
Yeah.
dog leash? Was nothing in it.
Just amazing. Like stuff. And that's just stuff he comes up with.
Right.
I used to So this is telling you how long ago this was. So we had an answering machine at the house, and I'd come home. Sometimes I'd be out with my wife, whatever.
Yep.
We'd come home and have 13 messages, and I'm like, "The hell's going on?" And literally, I hit play, and this is what I'd get: "Hey, Sonny, Willie from the woods. Remember that, because I'm gonna forget." And then, the next message would come up. There's 13 messages like this: "The blood-sucking alien. Don't let me forget that one." And then the next message would come
Instead
up.
of
and you're like,
writing it down.
Yep,
He wants you to write it down.
Siamese twins. It'll be great. And then the next message would be like, just
Toilet bowl match.
amazing. Just like this. So this will be a 13 message, and then just listening to them, and then 2 of them would be from my mother-in-law finding out, where are you? I've been checking on you. And
Right.
then the rest would all be from Jeff feeding me these crazy ideas.
Yeah.
And then I'd go over his house and I'd go, you wanted me to remind you about Willie from the Woods? He'd go, the hell's Willie from the Woods?
He completely forgot all about
And that was going to be the Wolfman. But we turned it into the Wolfman,
Right.
he turned it into the Wolfman.
Yep.
But yeah, it was going to be Willie from the Woods originally.
Nice.
And he turned it into the Wolfman.
Speaking of the Wolfman, have you talked to Jason, though?
Online a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Every now and again, I'll just send I had a situation where a couple years ago I had to speak at a friend's daughter's celebration of life. She had passed away.
Okay.
And they wanted me to speak, and I was like, I don't know if I do a prayer. They're a religious family.
Right.
So I reached out to him, and
Yep.
he gave me some great advice. And
He's awesome.
yeah, he's just a great guy.
Right.
Just a great guy. It's great to see he just stays so humble still. You know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
he's always just been such a
Nice
good
house
guy.
up north, too, huh?
Built his dream log cabin.
Yeah.
Just
It's
yeah.
nice.
He's never been a guy that's ever wanted for much. You know, like
Right.
when he first hit the Powerball, like I remember he always wanted a fast car, so he bought a used Corvette, not even a brand new Corvette. Got rid of it though, because he was like, it's too much.
Right.
You know, I remember we were driving in it, and I was like, this thing must haul ass. He's like, yeah. And then he's driving, but he's so cautious. I was like, well, how fast is he? He's like, I'm doing 71 right now. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I do 71
Yeah.
in my beat up Toyota Camry. You know what I
Right,
mean?
driving
Like,
down Amherst
Yeah,
Street.
driving down Amherst Street. Yeah, and we're on Route 3. I'm like, come on, gun it. But
Right.
no, I don't even think he had that thing for 3 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's such a great guy, you know, adopting the 2 boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was adopted, so
Yep.
I when I hear things like that, it really touches to me.
Yeah,
And his
absolutely.
kids were always really good. Every time that they'd be at the show, I'd always give him a figure or something,
Yep.
you know. And Jason would always be like, "Yeah," I'm like, "Nah, I don't want your money.
Yeah.
I would do it for the kids."
He's a good guy.
You know?
I want to contact him because I just recently got a motorcycle and I know he
Oh,
rides.
okay.
I want to organize I want to go on a ride with him somewhere just because I
That'd
know
be
he
cool.
lives up that way.
Right.
It's got to be all sorts of roads up that way.
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and just go on a ride with him somewhere. I think that'd be fun. We might even be able to, maybe I'll even talk to him about organizing a ride to raise some money for your operations director here. What's his name? Dan,
Dick.
right? Dick.
Dick, yeah.
Well, money for Dick.
All right.
What is this?
I will say this too, real quick about Jason is when my brother passed away, he hit me up on Instant Messenger and told me that he was going to say a prayer for him at the mass, his next mass and stuff.
Yeah.
He's just that type of guy.
My brother as well. Yes,
Really.
actually,
He's so good.
today's the 6th.
Yeah.
So today's the anniversary of my brother's passing.
How many years?
I think it's been 4 years.
Wow. Yeah, my
3 or 4
brother
years.
passed 2 years
Yeah.
ago. And then a year later, my girlfriend's daughter, Jessica, she OD'd. They left her for dead in the hallway.
Yeah.
So on the same day, she ended up pulling the plug on the same day, just different year.
Yeah.
And one of the hardest things I've ever had to do was tell my grandson that his mother was gone.
That's crazy.
She couldn't do it. My girl couldn't do it. His father couldn't do it because he still loved Jessica. So it all fell on me. And it was the weirdest thing because the kid didn't even cry, like, right then. And he cried later.
Yeah.
But, like.
How old was he?
At the time, he was like 8.5.
I don't think you understand at that
Yeah.
point. Like, you've heard of death. And
Right.
But you don't know how to react. Like,
Yeah.
my mom passed when I was 4.
Okay.
And I
Right.
don't even know if that's enough time to build a relationship with
Right.
you know what I mean?
My biological mother died when I was 2.
Yeah.
So I don't even know I don't know her.
Yep. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm super. I talk with my wife about this all the
Yeah.
time. She's unbelievably close with her mom and her dad.
Right.
And I don't know how I'm going to handle it when they pass because I don't know how I'm going to handle my wife because I know that she's going to be a mess.
Oh, yeah.
And so my mom died when I was 4. My dad died when I was 18, but I had no relationship with him. So again,
Right.
no emotional attachment, no
Yeah,
tears
yeah.
or anything.
Right.
I don't know how I'm going to handle it when my
That's
wife's
going to be hard.
Yeah.
Because my girl's mom died too, like 6 weeks after her daughter died. And her mom was the absolute best. I mean, honestly, you're supposed to hate your in-laws
Your
or
mom-
not
yeah.
get along with your in-laws.
Right.
This lady was the best.
Yeah.
She went, with Jessica's wedding, she went up to my parents and was talking all these nice things about me because of Nicole too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jisiah. And my mother comes up and says, much money did you give her? I said, what are you talking about? She talked so highly of you. You had to have given her something.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Here's some stir fry.
Yeah, you know. And it's funny, speaking of food, when she passed, before she knew she was passing,
Yeah.
okay? She gave me all her pots and pans and all the cookware, and her nieces were all mad, right? And they said to her, why are you giving it to Leo? She goes, how many meals you cook a week? Well, maybe 2. Leo cooks 5-6 days a week, so he gets that.
There you go. That's perfect. Yeah.
And Maria's mom was great.
Yeah. This just got dark. I apologize for that.
Yeah, it happens. It gets dark. Me and Derek would talk about my
Let's go back to Money for Dick.
Yeah, Money for Dick. I want to tell you my favorite match of all time.
Oh, perfect. Let's do it. We got off on a tangent.
Pat Patterson and Sergeant Slaughter, boot camp match, Madison Square Garden, 1981.
I remember this one, too.
That match was unbelievable. It was set up with the Cobra Clutch Challenge on TV.
Yes, when Patterson was an
Commentator,
announcer.
yep.
Yeah, was an announcer. I remember this.
That match is, I still, like, to this day, it holds up like incredible.
Yes, it's crazy. Slaughter was one of the best bumpers I've ever seen. Like, he used to take this flat back bump, and then he would float over and out over the second rope. And just, just amazing. I've tried to emulate that way too much. I can't do it. I can't get over that way. But my God, and Patterson, like just a fiery babyface. Like you want to learn how to be a fiery babyface.
Yeah.
Just, my head.
And part of one of the most underrated tag teams of all time, Ray Stevens and Pat Patterson. They were unbelievable as a tag team.
Ray Stevens was so good, too.
Unreal, huh?
No, I mean, we're watching him because we're roughly the same age. We're watching him when he's already... he's on his way out at this point.
Yep.
And he was so good then.
Oh, it was incredible.
Like I couldn't even imagine how good he was when he was...
Oh, yeah. Remember the thing with the pile driver to Snooker on what was it, Championship Wrestling or All-Star Wrestling or something
remember
like
he did it on his beaded headband.
Unbelievable.
So good.
And that was back when Buddy Rogers was actually in the WWF.
Yes.
It was just WD. It wasn't the 3 Ws. It was just
it was just the 2 Ws, yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever remember the 3 Ws.
Right.
That was a phenomenal match. Anything with Slaughter at that time was good. And then Pat Patterson, at that point, I think I only knew him as a commentator.
Right. Yeah, because he was like in his mid to late 40s.
Had to have been, right?
Had to have been, yeah.
Yeah, and my God, was he so good. But I remember him sitting down in the chair, the old wooden chair, and the build-up for that was so good.
And remember when he saw Slaughter slapped him, and Pat's like, get in the ring.
Yes.
And I loved how they teased it. The Wizard at first was saying no, and then all of a sudden he whispers in his ear, and he's like, no. Go in there.
Yeah.
And then to break them up, I'm watching these guys, Tony Gurria, Rick Martel, and they go in, and Dominic DeNucci.
Yeah.
Like, finally they get the chair.
Yep.
And they got him to be broken up, but the Wizard was one of my favorite managers, too, as a kid.
Yeah.
That guy was so weird.
Yeah.
And he spit every time he talked.
Every time he
Well,
talked.
I found out later on in life it's because he was drinking a lot of alcohol at the time.
I think everybody at that point was,
Well, Captain, they said, had a bottle of Jack, a rum, whatever, like in his bag.
Yeah.
And it was fired more times than anybody, but would have his job back the next day. Completely
different time back then. Yeah. Completely different time.
Unreal. One more match I'll tell you about. ECW. I'm a big tag team guy, as you. I know you are. The Eliminators, any of the matches against the Dudleys or the Gangsters. Now, you're not talking, they're not technical wrestling matches, especially against the Gangsters.
No,
more like
not.
fights.
Yep.
But they did have good matches with the Dudley boys.
Yeah.
Perry Saturn, John Cronus, local guys. Do you like them?
I've worked with them a couple of times.
Yeah.
My God, and I was in awe every time.
Right.
Like, I just remember, being so respectful too.
Right.
Like Perry and John coming up to me asking one time, we were doing a tag match. It was literally just a match to get them over up at Salisbury Beach, and I was working steady there, but they were super respectful. And they came to me. They said, "Sonny, we know you're working up here regular. You're the mainstay. We're only here for a little while. Would you mind bumping for us?" And I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, not at all. Like, but I was in awe. Remember, I took that back handspring splash from Cronus.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember laying there like this, watching him going, that's a big dude to be doing that. Oh, shit, he's going to land on me. And light as a feather.
Nothing, huh?
And Perry was just phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable mind for the business.
Yep.
And just such a good guy. Like, such a good guy. Just,
I like hearing that because, like I said, that's my favorite tag team of all time. The Eliminators. They are.
Now, I didn't always find that to be true. I did have a little bit of an issue with him one time, a little bit later on. Not a huge issue, just like he was kind of treating me like a dick. but I was like, oh, whatever. He was
Right,
already
right.
gone. He was already off making money in ECW at this point. And I just came to him and asked him a little bit of advice, and he kind of shit on me, and I was like, well.
Right.
But yeah, I love those guys.
I remember I liked them, and all of a sudden they actually wrestled in Hudson too. Because all of a sudden they weren't advertised. They came out, and I was like, whoa. And I was with my son, who was little.
I forgot that they did that too.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, my son's like, who's that? I'm like, that's the Eliminators. He's like, who? I'm like, never mind.
Yeah.
Didn't take too long to,
They look like wrestlers.
Yeah.
The gear, they did the everything. They were, man, and just, John was such a fun, lovable guy, just such a goofball. And Perry, I just remember being in the locker room. Perry would just berate him, and just like if he screwed up a spot in the match.
Like, well, you know what I mean? At all.
Well, because, I mean, they looked great together. They worked very well together, but Perry definitely led.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know,
and two totally different personalities. Like you said, John
completely
goofy, mess around, everything's, funny and having a good time. Well, Perry's serious.
Perry was in this. I'm gonna make money, and this is what I'm gonna do, and this is gonna be it. And this man, I remember working a match with him, and it was me and Jeff.
Yep.
And I bumped Perry down, and I did the old trapezius claw on him, and he started fighting up, and I brought him back down. And he started fighting up again. I brought him back down. I'm like, slow down, brother. Slow down, brother. And he just looked at me and he goes, man, you're cut off from Memphis, not this bullshit. And I was like, get me to Memphis. I'll go. Give me the contact. I'll go to Memphis.
Right. And you did.
Because I did one shot in Memphis on Saturn, the car companies. That's, again, how long ago this was on their bill.
Yep.
But, man, he just... he was already advanced at that point, and I liked working that slow style, and he just wanted to go.
Yeah.
So it was comical. Though. He finally just gave up. He's like, man, and he just said that up to me out loud. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah, I never met Perry, but I did meet John. There was a show. Who's the cop that runs in Everett? Kevin Kelly, right? I think that's his name.
No,
Kevin, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I actually got to sell my merchandise down there through Sam.
Yeah.
Makua.
Yep.
But Cronus had a match against New Jack, and he was outside talking on the phone. So I waited till he was off the phone, went over and said, hey, you're my favorite tag team. He's like, oh, thanks. He shook his hand, and he said, I got to make a call. I'm like, no, I didn't want to bother you. Just wanted to say that, walked away. And that match that he had with Cronus that night was unbelievable. I mean, with New Jack. Cronus can't wrestle Cronus.
Yeah.
But incredible match. I mean, a lot of people just think New Jack's 100% hardcore.
Yeah,
he can wrestle. Don't get me wrong. He's not freaking Chris Jericho.
He was trained at some point, so he has to do.
I think Ray Candy trained him, right? I think it was Ray Candy.
I don't know
could have
much
sworn
about him.
I heard that on a shoot interview.
Yeah, because when I got familiar with New Jack, it was from the doing the violent shit, and then you do the YouTube videos and see him beating up Gypsy Joe and
that dude in Alabama or whatever that was. He stabbed him like 6 times. But the Gypsy Joe one was bad, man. I'm sorry,
but that was terrible. But Gypsy Joe,
he started it. Gypsy Joe
how
started
tough was he
it.
at that point? He just kept getting up.
Dude, you see when he hit him with the bat in the head?
Yeah,
he got right. Like he didn't even go down. He was on his knees and he got up.
If I hit you in the head with a bat and you
dead.
get up,
you better run.
I just give up at that point. Yeah, because I don't know what to do. I don't know what else I can do at this point, short of shooting you in the face. Like, I'm going to hit you in the head with a bat. Kevin Butcher Hughes actually spoke very highly of Gypsy Joe. Speaking of that, they did something together in Japan.
Oh, nice.
And it was there's some stories. That's if we can get that guy on.
That would be unreal. Seriously.
Yeah, because he has more stories that he doesn't even remember.
Right.
I'll tell you a quick story about Kevin
please.
Hughes. We're over at Jeff's house. I think it was Thanksgiving. So we're watching wrestling, watching old Vancouver stuff with Jeff and Kevin.
Right.
And they're tag working with somebody. And I just happened to look at the TV, and Kevin has tape on his ear. I go, Kevin, why do you have tape in your ear? He looks at me. This is how he would sit. And he would go. He goes, I didn't do that. I go, no, you have tape in your ear, Kevin. What's it for? That's not me. I didn't do that. I go, Kevin, we're looking right at you.
Right.
You have white tape, athletic tape on your ear. Now, that's CGI. I go,
Wow.
Kevin, a little early for CGI.
Wow.
Yeah.
What nice guy, though, because when I was selling my
Amazing guy.
merchandise, he brought me in a bunch of tapes from like the 50s and 60s. And he's like, these are for you. I'm like, well, I'll make a copy and give back. Wow, that's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift from you. And it was like 8 or 9 tapes.
He
out
was
of the blue.
Kevin was the reason that a lot of Kowalski's guys couldn't go to Japan after a while.
Really?
Yeah, because he beat up somebody in an elevator, I heard.
Wow.
Like, yeah, just like Kevin was a badass.
Right.
Kevin was a badass. First time I ever met him, again, was Thanksgiving. We're walking from Jeff's house to the local corner store, and Kevin and I are walking together, and I'm just picking his brain, just talking to him, because he's out of his mind, but he's got, like, if I can pick up one thing from him, right, he pulls out of his pocket a box cutter, because he worked at Ann and Hope doing security.
Okay.
And he used to cut down the boxes, so he has the box cutter. And he shows it to me, and he goes like this. Like people are around. We're walking on West Hall Street. And he goes, just in case anybody takes a bump. And then he puts it back in his pocket.
Yeah, that's
and I'm like, oh, man. I was like, all right. We're in for a trip.
I used to hear him talking to people, and I'd be like, what did he say that for? I don't get it.
Another time we're at a show in Peabody for Todd Soper.
Yeah.
And I got him to come to the show. Todd forgot the ring bell. And he goes, what? You don't need a ring bell. Watch, I'll be the ring bell. Watch this. Ready? He goes, ding, ding. See? You don't need a ring bell. Kevin, we could do an hour of just Kevin stories. Just
contact him, man. I'd love. Is he live in Nashville?
No, he's a PBD guy.
PBD guy.
So,
love to have him on.
I should try to find out if I can get a hold of Kevin.
That would be awesome.
There's got to be a way. If we could get Kevin and Jeff on here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know who I wouldn't mind having on? Bull Montana too. Bull.
You wouldn't be able to understand anything Bull says.
I know. I always say what he says it again. You have to look at his mouth to understand what he's saying.
And
but
I haven't seen Bull.
Nice guy,
I haven't seen Bull in 100 years, but my God, I just remember dealing with him back then, and I literally never had any idea what he was saying to me. Marble mouth.
Absolutely.
And
he hits me up on Facebook a lot.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. Well, he used to. I haven't heard from him in a while, but I'd say a year ago, I'd hear from him every couple weeks, Leo, what are you doing? How you doing?
I don't really know anything about Bull Montana. They tell me that he was a worker.
Yeah,
and
back for Tony Santos back in the day.
Yeah. I don't know anything about him, though. I just know that he was a manager when I met him, and my God, what a character.
Yeah.
Man,
I
got to tell you, being in this business,
meet a lot of them, huh?
It's crazy. And I've never done anything outside of New England.
Right.
But just the people that you meet in New England, some of the stories I tell or some of the stories I have.
Yeah.
If there weren't people there with me to see
people wouldn't believe it.
You wouldn't believe it. Nobody would believe it.
Right.
There's just, it's just insane. Donnie, do you remember Donnie Lacasse used to, as the Skull?
Oh, yeah.
A million stories just about him.
Right.
That guy, nobody would give that guy a chance in the world.
Right.
Next thing you know, he's working as Cactus Donnie or whatever for Savoldi up in Maine and NWA on Fire and stuff. That kid couldn't tie his shoes.
Right.
And he's in the wrestling business.
Right. You know who's coming on in a couple weeks?
Who?
Old guy that you shared locker rooms with. Pinky Petunia.
He's coming on?
He's coming on.
So not only did I share locker rooms with Pinky, I grew up. I grew up with Pinky.
Okay.
His older brother Glenn and my brother were buddies. When they were teenagers.
Right.
So I've known Jason Carter and Petunia, the whole family, for my whole life, essentially.
Yeah.
I think I was at one of the first WrestleManias or Royal Rumbles or something at Pinky's house. When he finally got in the business, I was blown away.
Yeah.
That he was in it. And I worked a lot with Pinky.
Yeah.
Remember he used to work with the atomizer?
Yes.
The spray thing? So, doing a show in Pembroke, New Hampshire. Scott Dickens, the referee. I tell him, at this point, I told him my meniscus, I hadn't had the surgery yet.
Right.
But it would lock up every third day. So I said, tonight, just keep it simple, work the leg, but just be careful. Just be careful, be careful. I thought he was shooting on me and trying to break my leg for real.
Wow.
The finish of the match was supposed to be he hits me with the atomizer. Now, an atomizer, if you don't know, it's a jug with a handle on one end and a spray nozzle on the other, and you pump it.
Yeah.
And
Like the old Rick Martel
like
type
the old
of
Rick
thing.
Martel thing. And it would actually spray a mist of, it was supposed to be perfume, but
Right.
this was water or whatever
Yep.
the case was. So naturally, one would think that you'd hit me with the jug end,
Yeah.
right? Because it's the big bulky part
Right.
that everybody could see. Pinky thought it would be much better if he stabbed me in the head with the nozzle.
Right.
Cut me wide open. I take a bump, and I'm just laying there, and Dickinson comes over and he goes, "Oh my God, this juice, this color. I go, "Oh shit, what happened to Pinky?" He goes,
Right.
"No, you stupid." And I put my hand up, and I'm bleeding everywhere.
Wow.
And I'm like, and there's like a flap, like, because he had hit me with the nozzle part.
Right.
Like, and I'm like,
What did you do that for? Pinky, I know you're going to be watching, so why'd you do that? You can
why
tell
would you
me
do
later.
that, Pinky? Why would you do that? You hurt
Yeah.
me real bad.
I can't wait to have him on. He was asking for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And finally I started adding more people to the list.
Yeah.
And I said, he wants to come on. He wants to do a Pinky's, like, what's he called?
Oh,
flower shop
the
or
flower
something.
shop type of thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
he wants to something like I told him we'll do whatever he wants.
he's been involved in some of Jeff's most cockamamie ideas.
Yes.
Like we did the dinner date,
Yep.
him and I, and then him and Rip did the roller skating.
Yep. Oh, that was hilarious.
Rip knows how to skate. Rip,
Yeah.
There's nothing that Rip can't do. I'm
Right.
convinced.
But he couldn't.
Pinky couldn't skate, and he told us that day.
Yeah, he waited until the
He
last
waited until the
minute.
last minute. He's like, I don't know how to skate.
I think he was nervous. He didn't want
Super
to blow
nervous.
the shot.
But my God, if you wanted anybody to do anything
He'd do it,
in the
huh?
wrestling business, Pinky was the guy. Like, just
He'd love to come back. He asked me the other day if I wanted to like run a promotion with him, and I said, "Listen, now, not against him. You have to have money." I told him, "You have to have money to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to lose money, and if you're lucky, you'll do good enough later to make it back."
Right off the
But-
bat, you need to rent a ring.
Yeah, and I told him, he's like, "Well, I'm going to do it." I said, "Well, can I give you one piece of advice?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Make sure when the boys walk through the door to wrestle that night, pay them right then and
Pay
there.
him right then.
Don't pay them off the gate because you
Yeah.
ain't going to have, most likely, you ain't going to make the money off the gate."
definitely
I said,
not.
"But you pay them before they head in." Now, let's say I'm another promoter, I told him. And I agreed to $50. And then the night I go to pay them at the end and said, the house was bad. Here's 25, right? The next show, you guys are both, I'm running and you're running. They're going to work for you because you paid them the minute they walked through the door.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't think you do. I'm like, that's how you do it. If you're going to
Yeah.
run a promotion, I also told him, you want to make money, you should sell merchandise.
Yes.
Do the concessions yourself.
Yeah.
I said, that's how you'll make money.
It's
That'll
like
be your
it's-
money.
I wish that I had the forethought that everybody that's working now had when I started, because we didn't have T-shirts. I did
Right.
one run of Crusher 218 T-shirts or
Yeah.
216 T-shirts when it was. I was dumb though. I let the T-shirt company design the font.
yeah.
And if in my head, I should have gone with the same style that Austin had.
Right.
It's just said Austin 316
Yep.
in big block letters.
Yeah.
Mine was some kind of crazy kind of cursive font. I 12. I sold them out, but it took me forever.
Yep.
These guys make a majority of their bundle
Oh, yeah.
on merchandise now.
Yeah.
Like you go to any of these shows and everybody's got multiple T-shirts
Yep.
and multiple 8x10s. We did none of that stuff.
Yeah, you guys could've made a killing.
Jeff would sell like dolls and stuff.
Yeah.
Rip and I went to Mexico and we picked up
The masks.
all
and
the
stuff.
masks.
I remember when they had
super,
the masks.
super cheap.
Yeah.
And you come up here and you sell
Yep.
them for $10.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You're making
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
quite a 600% profit. Wow. Yeah.
You know who makes a lot of money off merchandise? The Young Bucks.
It's crazy.
We went to see the Ring of Honor in Lowell. Me, Daryl, and my buddy Dave and his son. And I swear to God, Sonny, for 3 hours, there was just a line of people down the hallway.
Yeah.
If they didn't make, I'm not even bullshitting you, if they didn't make 15 grand, 12 grand that night, I'd be shocked.
It's insane.
They had so many people going to see him. You know, everybody else, even the Ring of Honor champ was out there. He was, after an hour, he had nobody in line.
Yeah.
But the Young Bucks, they were supposed to only be there for 2 hours. They ended up out there 4.5 hours because there was people waiting.
If you're making money, you're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, do you see who's going to wrestle?
I just saw that this morning.
I saw it this morning too.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho.
I saw the Twitter feud thing, and I knew that was going to lead
I
to
didn't know
something.
they were doing a little thing.
There's a
back
little
and forth.
Twitter thing going on, and I knew it was going to lead to something, but I was
Wow.
blown away by.
That match is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
It really
and
is.
so I'm a guy that I subscribe to that New Japan World.
Yep.
I watched it. I bought it a year ago,
Okay.
and I watched it one time, so I'm paying $9 a month
Right.
for it. I honestly, I don't even know how to get back on it.
Yeah.
In the English version, Big Scott helps me and tells me I'm old all the time.
George
when I try
Carroll
to
must
do it.
be happy that you ordered it.
I'm sure he is.
George, great guy. Honestly, what a
George,
mind.
yeah.
Seriously, he's always had a mind for the business, always. And he worked hard to get where he is. I mean, I still haven't had a chance to talk to him and ask him exactly how that all went down.
Yeah.
I know it had something to do, I think, with he was working with Ring of Honor too at the time.
Yeah.
But George, a great guy, you know.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know that he was even still working.
Right.
I worked one tag match with him and somebody against me and Johnny Vegas when he was working
Was he Tiger Khan?
I think he was Dallas Austin or something.
Yes, that was his other one. Yep.
I called for an arm drag and he tried to arm drag me from the right, and I booted him.
Right.
And I didn't see much.
Sorry,
from,
George.
Yeah, I'm sorry, George, buddy. I apologize. But I always liked him.
Right.
But I literally didn't have any other run-ins with him. And then I saw him. He was hanging out with Eddie and DC.
Yep.
And
Yeah, they were best friends.
yeah,
Man. Him
so
and
I
Eddie
saw
are
him there at
still
a couple
like
of
this.
shows, and then I saw him working for New Japan, and,
Yeah,
and I was like,
It's crazy, right?
It's crazy.
It really is.
I had no clue. But
I'm still trying to get him to come on. I wanted him and Gorman.
Yeah.
To come on. I mean, I'd love to have Eddie too, but I
Yeah.
doubt that's to do a DC special. Honestly,
Oh,
he deserves it.
Yeah.
I was scared of that guy. I told George too. I said, I don't think he liked me. He goes, nah, you would have known if he didn't like you.
Yeah.
That's just Dave. He said,
Yeah,
that's
Dave
just
was
Dave. You know what I mean?
Dave was very.
If you weren't already introduced to him by someone that he was really close friends with, how you doing? And
yeah,
you know.
very polarizing.
Yes. Yeah.
A very polarizing figure. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell of a. Oh, thank you. Yes.
Oh, yes.
All right. So, guys,
That was Dick.
yes. Sunday, yesterday, I took my girl for her birthday, and we met Paul Pierce. We'll put a picture up with the show. But Paul Pierce, one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. And I've met a lot of guys.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Let me ask, was he tall?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
he
who
was
else
tall.
was there? Anton Walker. And,
Yeah?
And he's tall. He's a piece of crap. You know what didn't you hear about him and his mother? They scammed people for like millions of dollars and then not only did they steal from people,
Then they blew it?
They have no money. And imagine that, doing it with your mother.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Sonny, listen, I'm going to get you back on again.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go 3 times. Is that how Derek does it?
Yeah. Yeah. 3. Yep.
3.
All right, guys.
3.
That's it.
Thank you very much, Leo.
We're out. Thank you, Sonny. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.